Guten Tag und herzlich willkommen bei Hitman 3 von 2021 mit mir wie immer gelungen Trains. Lasst uns mal jetzt das Story fortsetzen, Todesfall in der Familie. Lasst uns mal jetzt beginnen.
She came home.
Carlyle's lost an empire. You fall hard enough, you tend to be reminded of what truly matters. So, the end of the line. You ready for this?
Are you? Who will you be, without a score to settle?
I guess the world's most wanted fugitive will have to do.
Alexa Carlyle is dead. According to the funeral invitation, that is. So naturally, it caused quite a stir when the late matriarch turned up at the breakfast table, alive and kicking. Carlyle, wisely sensing that her number is up, has emerged from exile to tie up loose ends and secure the Carlyle legacy. She may be a monster, but you have to admire her due diligence. Carlyle descends from an ancient line of warrior aristocrats. Her great-grandfather made a killing in the Second Opium War and established an empire in shipping, railroads, and newspaper publishing. While largely unknown to the public, the family still asserts its quiet dominance over global transport and logistics, media, and technology. Most senior of the partners, Alexa Carlyle, is cold as ice, tough as nails, and sharp as a razor. Incidentally, it was her late father who first brought the three families together after the end of World War II at this very house, meaning that this gentleman is the birthplace of Providence.
It began here, and it ends here. Talk about poetic.
One more thing. According to our intel, Carlyle keeps a case file on the Constant. Information that may be helpful in his recapture, so don't leave the estate without it.
Right. Happy hunting, 47. See you on the other side.
Gut, lasst uns mal jetzt beginnen zu spielen. Wir haben zwei Dinge zu tun hier. Die Fallakte des Konstantes finden, auch Alexa Carlyle eliminieren. Hoffentlich wird es ohne Probleme laufen und dass ich das Spiel nicht mehrmals tun müsse.
Thornbridge Manor. The Carlyle family's home for countless generations. The Revenant Alexa Carlyle and her three adult children, younger brother Zachary, grandson and daughter-in-law, are all gathered to conduct Carlyle's sham funeral. Curiously, Carlyle summoned a famous London PI soon after arriving this morning, but his purpose at Thornbridge is yet unclear. Now, the target knows that you're coming, and her guard detail is top-notch. So Mr. Gray will secure their nearby field HQ and intercept all calls going in and out of the estate. Any appeal for backup is going to fall on very deaf ears. Good luck, gentlemen.
Phineas Whitmer, private investigator. I have an appointment with Madame Carlyle.
Please wait. Mr. Whitmer is here to see Madame Carlyle. You can go right in.
That is Phineas Whitmer, the famous private investigator hired by Madame Carlyle this morning. I'm curious why he's here. Maybe you should do 47. A famous Alexa Carlyle has arrived at Thornbridge Manor. If you take his place, it may be an opportunity to get close to Madame Carlyle.
Lass uns mal sehen, wie ich muss jetzt dem Privatdetektiv folgen.
Mr. Whitmer, thank God you're here. Can I take you to Madame Carlyle?
Please do.
If you follow me.
Oh, by the way, I told Kate about this text.
What did she say?
Well, I thought
know
she'd
I
be mad
ought
at
to
me,
say
but
anything,
she
but
thanked me.
so many
She understood the
people here.
position I was in.
Strange.
We had a really good talk about it, actually.
Oh, what did I tell you? She's a sensible woman. And that stuff from your ex was like manipulation 101.
I know.
I've never seen the place guarded.
I guess I thought she was gonna read into them and freak out. Say I must have done something to provoke her.
Shit, man. Caroline really did a number on you.
This is what I mean. You have to be patted down before you see Madame Carlyle.
Gut, und wir sind hier drin.
So, I just need to check.
That's a bit excessive, I think, considering the fact that I spotted no less than 2 routes to get inside the house unseen.
We know what we're doing, sir. Don't worry about that.
Hat sich filzen gelassen. Und jetzt muss mal hier kommen, in unsere Richtung. Ja, ich habe nun die Klavierseite. Ich muss mich verstecken. Lass uns mal hier bleiben. Wie konnte es sein, dass ich immer mich gesehen habe? Ja, das ist ein bisschen fremd. Aber glücklich kann ich mal rechtzeitig verstecken. Sie können auch weg. Das ist erledigt. Und jetzt können wir weiter. Jetzt muss ich nun Alexa Carlyle am Feuer treffen. Und dann kann ich mal jetzt fortsetzen.
Thank you for coming on such short notice. A great tragedy has fallen upon us, and I need a quick resolution, handled with absolute discretion.
Results and discretion are my speciality.
Very well. I suppose you will want to start at the crime scene.
In my experience, a thorough examination of a potential crime scene is half the job done.
Good. Fernsby will take over from here.
I am Mr. Fernsby, the butler. Madame Carlyle has asked me to assist you in any way possible. Mr. Whitmer, I understand that you've traveled from London. Would you care for some refreshments? Or do you prefer to go straight to Mr. Zachary's sleeping quarters?
I prefer to get started.
As you wish. If you'll follow me, sir.
Lass uns mal Mr. Fernsby folgen.
I feel obliged to point out that current affairs surrounding Madame Carlyle are of a delicate nature. You may be familiar with the recent announcement of her death. You will probably learn that a staged funeral is scheduled to take place tomorrow. Madame's children were not informed until this morning that their mother was in fact not dead at all. So please bear with them if they seem affected by the rather unusual situation. I trust I do not need to remind you that there will be consequences if word gets out that Madame Carlyle is still alive.
I'll consider her dead when I leave.
Before you inspect the crime scene, I will tell you this. The case concerns the death of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger brother. He was found dead in his bed this morning. The door was locked from the inside, and a suicide letter was found in his room. However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene. This is Mr. Zachary's room, to my right.
A locked room murder mystery, 47. I trust you'll get to the bottom of this. Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body, 47?
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47. Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal. Zachary's suicide note. Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity.
Auch ein bisschen weiter untersuchen. Hier gibt es
A hidden door.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside. A photocopy of the floor plans. Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
the butler.
How are you?
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I've prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
This is very useful information, 47. So how does one solve a murder mystery, 47? Motive, means, and opportunity, I believe. May I suggest you ask the suspects for alibis? Or perhaps you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
Can I do anything for you?
Yes, actually. Could you speed up time so I don't die from boredom and I fear I may not survive an entire weekend in this shithole?
Perhaps a brisk walk in the garden would do you good.
I said speed up time, not my passing. Now just go away, won't you?
Of course, sir. I'll come back later.
How very kind of you, dear Mr. Fernsby. I hope to see you soon. Git.
Patrick Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Shit, it's that sneaky butler, isn't it? He ratted me out. Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? Don't tell her, okay? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my slow death by boredom.
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexa used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him. Then suddenly, he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. So, is that it?
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary tops himself. I know I would have. Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it. Just remembered I went for a stroll behind the greenhouse last night. Maybe that's where it is.
What is?
My lost button. I want you to find a grave.
I should take you back to...
Sorry.
That door leads to Emma and Gregory's room.
Jetzt muss ich andere Verdächtigen fragen. Ein bisschen länger wie gewöhnlich. Und das
Yeah, keep it real.
Das ist die Sicherheitskamera. Hier sind wir gewesen, gut. Können auch durch hier gehen. Ah, dort muss ich gehen, gut.
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Well, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Anything else you want to pry from my intricate intellect?
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle, but who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger ball. He's better off dead. Is that all? Not very...
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing, really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
Gut. Es gibt noch einige Menschen, die wie ich befragen müssen.
Emmer Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Anything else you want to know?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always awkward. How do you have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Is that all?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that Zachary was depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
Sie ist auch befragt.
Well, I could listen all day. He pours emotion into that instrument.
You have a way with words, Stan.
Professor Edward Carlyle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'd never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting, and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. Anything else I can do to help?
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, he was upset by Mother's supposed death. We were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, Mother, and the staff, all the company he had. If that's all, I have...
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning? Or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy? And Mother will surely have strong opinion of it afterwards. Excuse me.
Wie können wir noch fragen?
I shouldn't gossip, but that N woman is a tad too busy for my taste.
Tell me.
Elaine says she saw her on the top floor, stroking the door to Alexa's office.
Do you know what? She can't wait to get her hands on Thornbridge Manor.
But he was such a gentleman. He gave me his coat and all. Rosie, you need to forget about Patrick. No good's gonna come of it. Stick to your own kind. You mean like Chris? He treated me like shit. All he wanted to do was play his stupid video games, never any romance. I deserve romance. Hello there.
Rosie, tell me what you did last night.
I'm in trouble, aren't I? I spent the evening with Patrick. We met after dinner and I went home at 1 in the morning. He said he needed someone real to talk to. When he looks at you, it makes you feel like the center of the universe. Like a real princess. But now he just ignores her. Well, he's under a lot of pressure. He's an idiot. That's what he is.
Did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Any strangers?
No, we saw no one outside. Except Patrick's mother, Emma. We were sitting on the bench behind the greenhouse talking when she came out and we had to hide. You won't tell her about me and Patrick, will you? She'd insist Madame Carlyle fire me. I'm sure of it.
Too right she will. She's always going on about how things will change once she's in charge of Thornbridge Manor.
How are things coming along inside? Is everything ready for tomorrow?
I can't deal with all this pretend funeral stuff just now. I know I have to, but Amy thinks she might be pregnant. I'm going to be a dad.
I remember how it was with the first one. The ones that come after certainly are a lot less of a worry.
What is it now?
She turned up and
Wie kann ich noch hier jemanden finden, zu befragen? Bei Informationen müssen wir noch Rebecca Carlyle finden. Here.
Rebecca Carlyle, can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers and I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick, Gregory's son, disappeared straight after dinner. You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 8:45. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends.
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Wie muss ich noch befragen? Ja? Lass uns mal sehen. Ich muss jetzt Mr. Fernsby zurückfinden.
Mr. Fernsby?
Mr. Whitmer, you have enough evidence to present your case for Madame Carlyle?
No, not yet.
Come and see
hey,
me,
bro.
do.
Ich habe nicht genug Beweise. Das ist fremd.
Rebecca? Yes. She's insistent, that one. She kept asking all kinds of questions. Who had the other one? Why I gave it to her, that sort of thing. You did make sure she didn't see you give the other one to the butler?
Of course.
Den Leibwächtern zufolge haben Rebecca Carlyle und Mr. Fernsby, der Butler, je eine Marke der Millen Fitzpatrick Bank erhalten. Gemeinsam gewähren die Marke jedem Zugriff auf ein Schließfach, das sehr wohl eine Kopie der Fallakte zu Arthur Edwards enthalten könnte. Hier bin ich schon gewesen, gut. Hier auch. Jetzt muss ich noch etwas anderes untersuchen. Ich muss nach oben gehen.
That is the door to Rebecca's room.
Vielleicht kann ich Rebecca's Zimmer so durchdringen.
I can see from the log that Rebecca was in a conference call from 9 p.m. to midnight last night.
Hey, Ron, did Yates mention anything about the Carlisle account? Yes, I'm in England now. It's all gone. Ron and I haven't been briefed about...
Man kann einfach so durch hier spionieren. Gibt es hier noch etwas anderes zu sehen? Nein.
Hi.
Madame Carlisle.
Mr. Whitmer, you found proof of what happened to my brother?
No, not yet.
Go and see Fernsby when you do.
Gut, das können wir nichts dran tun. Wie muss ich noch untersuchen und zu fragen? Ja? Alle Menschen hier sind befragt, ja, eigentlich. Hier kann ich mal nichts Interessantes finden. Das ist sehr kompliziert.
Actually, yeah, I should let you go.
Yeah, same.
Lass uns jetzt auf die Karte sehen,
Looking good, looking good.
Was kann ich hier jetzt tun? Das ist die Frage. Vielleicht muss ich auch nach draußen gehen.
Security detail at a staged funeral event tomorrow. That'll be the first.
Hier gibt es etwas Interessantes.
Just run through his plan for the spring seedlings yesterday.
Yes, sure.
I was very worried about how things would be handled with Gregory and Emily taking over. I said to let it straight. Emily throw him out the first chance she got. And now we'll never know.
Fine. You're taking this hard, aren't you?
Broken lab equipment. It looks like it was recently used, though.
Was können wir hier finden jetzt? Bordschlüssel, das ist also sehr praktisch. Hier sind wir fertig.
Maybe I should ask her out. Get to know her in a personal way.
You could try. Rosie told me Rebecca has a...
There's still a lot to see to, but we're in good time, I think.
I'm getting a headache from all the decisions. I mean, pram or stroller, comforter or not. Should I ask her to marry me? What if she says no? And then this big funeral thing tomorrow. It's the last thing I need.
You'll be fine, Robbie. Kids are great.
That is the door to Mr. Fernsby's office.
Ich habe Mr. Fernsbys Liste gefunden, gut.
Painkillers. Lethal if you use enough of them.
But not the poison used to kill Zachary. Of course, Madame Carlyle doesn't know that. Are you considering to frame the butler, 47? Zachary's diary. This is big. He was a...
Zachary's Harvard-Brandes Tagebuch gefunden.
confessed to the world that he and Alexa murdered their older brother Montgomery 46 years ago. And apparently, Mr. Fernsby helped make the murder look like an accident. And 47, the handwriting doesn't match the suicide letter in his room, proving he didn't write it himself. Mr. Fernsby clearly didn't commit the murder, but I think you have enough evidence to convince Madame Carlyle he did. Maybe you should tell him you are ready to present your findings. Unless, of course, you want to do some more detecting, 47?
Was kann ich hier noch finden? Nix. Lasst uns zuerst nach draußen gehen, um etwas zu untersuchen, aber... Hier bin ich mal schon gewesen. Es gibt hier nichts mehr anderes zu finden.
We heard some of the delivery people were unhappy with the security at the gate. But Matt's safe with Ethel. She never misses a step. Gossiping and word for both.
Zachary found strings of my heart with that piano. I can feel the hair on my neck stand.
Quite the poet. But you're right. It's beautiful.
Ja, jetzt. Ah, hier ist der Butler.
I'm ready to present my conclusion to Madame Carlyle.
Very well. If you'll follow me, sir.
Hello there, sir.
This is Madame Carlyle's office.
Looking good
Please
today,
step
sir.
inside.
Your detective skills have gained you access to the Lion's Den, 47. Now, go claim your reward.
So, Mr. Whitmer, you've reached a conclusion. Take a seat. Please, go ahead.
The butler, Mr. Fernsby, killed Zachary.
Fernsby? Oh, you've got that wrong. He would never do such a thing. He is the most loyal man I have ever met.
I found pills in his office that matches the poison that killed your brother. Furthermore, I found Zachary's notebook, half burned, in Mr. Fernsby's fireplace. It showed that Zachary intended to publish a written confession to a murder the two of you committed nearly 50 years ago. The murder of your older brother, Montgomery.
That's outrageous. We did no such thing.
No need to feign innocence. I know a killer when I see one, and my discretion is assured. The papers also described how Mr. Fernsby helped you stage the murder of Montgomery as an accident. I believe he killed Zachary not to be exposed as an accomplice to murder.
Sweet Fernsby.
You are wrong, Mr. Whitmer. He did not do it to protect himself. He did it to protect the Carlyle legacy. Mr. Fernsby, like myself, understands that sacrifices must be made to secure stability and prosperity. Mr. Whitmer, I'd appreciate it if your findings never leave this room. I understand Fernsby's actions, and there is no need for them to have more consequences than they already have. Fernsby was very fond of Zachary, and I'm sure his decision will haunt him to the day he dies. About your reward. Have you considered an amount?
I want the file you have on Arthur Edwards.
Arthur Edwards, the Constant. But that must mean you're... I expected you'd show up. But you're not here to kill me. If you were, you would have already. The enemy of my enemy, I suppose. You can have it. You earned it. The file you want is in the safe. Good hunting. I need some privacy. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Good work, 47. That's the file on Arthur Edwards secured. Time to take care of Madame Carlyle.
What?
Mission complete. Well done, 47.
I can't forget his eyes. So swollen. He would look like that.
Actual, this is Alpha 1 Actual. There's been an accident. Carlyle? You need assistance, ma'am? I seem to have lost you. Carlyle? Carlyle, are you there?
"47. They're everywhere. Go, get out! It's the Constantine. Shit! Don't respond, just listen. Diana can't help you now. You need to find Olivia. She will know what to do. I wish there had been more time.
And then there were none. Thank you, Miss Burnwood. Now, It's my turn.
Stay down. Boss wants you alive.
Yeah? How about now?
Over here! Cover me!
Walk away!
Or what? You gonna take us all on?
Don't. Tell the Constant to start running!
You think you've won? 47 is out there. And 47 never misses his mark.
Neither do you, Miss Burnwood. That's what makes you valuable.
You're delusional. You think I would betray 47?
Trust me, you owe him nothing.
What is this?
I told you we could help each other, and I meant it. I look forward to your call.
Gray is gone. Go to Berlin and stay out of sight. We're all that's left now.